Hello everybody, this is Gypsy Spirit here with you, ready to give you your weekly reading for what is today? The day is the 21st, so it's this reading is from Sunday the 21st to Saturday the 27th of July. And I don't know about anybody else, but I can tell you this. You know, last week I talked about how retrograde is really good and full moon is good because it helps us become better people as we have to, there's lessons in it that we have to learn. But I gotta tell you, and I don't know if you can tell by my voice, but this retrograde has kicked me in my ass big time. The only thing I haven't done that's been really good, and it's not going to happen, but because I've heard a lot of people talk about this, but I've heard people talk about how with this Mercury retrograde and full moon, a lot of people will be getting in touch with their exes, and so I am very grateful for that's not happened. I'm not there, and fortunately the ex is not there either towards me, so that is the only good thing I can say about this retrograde. So that in every way, shape, and form, it has kicked me in my ass so bad. And I found myself being very, very stressed out, and a few mornings ago I'm like meditating and asking the universe to just help me to be very free-spirited, anything goes, and just go with the flow of everything. And when you know it, for the next 2 days, everything that could go wrong or fuck up in my life did. And I didn't handle it so well. So, and then a gentleman who I worked on, I did some work with him yesterday, and he introduced me to this woman who communicates with the Palladians, and I've got this YouTube video that she put out. It's in this newsletter because it was very informative to me, and it really hit me in the core, which I'm sure that not only I'm going through it, but so many others are going through it as well. And it was about patience. So, and I think I wrote about patience a couple of weeks ago in the newsletter. That was a key word. So anyway, if you're going through the same kind of crap that I'm going through, or having a rough time, just hang in there, because we're all going to get through it. There's a reason, there's lessons, and just when you think that you've got everything structured and your life is so perfect, the universe throws a curveball at you and says, yeah, really? You think you've got everything right? Well, let's work on this. Let's take a look. So I'm like, universe, really, please go away. I'm good. But anyway, our first card, because these readings are just as much for me as they are for you. The first card is the High Priestess. So this is really a very powerful card. It's something that has hit me myself, like I was saying, that I was wanting to really have the feelings of just being able to not let anything worry me or get next to me. And the High Priestess here, there's good and there's bad, and the old saying, you can take lemons and turn them into lemonade. But this card really encourages you to listen to your higher divine self, to really tap in to your higher divine self and look at what the universe, your higher divine self, is trying to help you with. Sometimes, particularly in this card, when I get people who have been going through something traumatic in their lives, and this card pops up, it is a sign or request for you to really dig deep down inside and go back and look at the inner child. It's all about healing the inner child is what I see when I see this card. And when I look at it, because it's like a child looking at the reflection of her higher divine self. And, you have the pure and the negative, and there's that yin-yang effect. So this week, I see, or maybe, even for some of us this past week, over the weekend, we've really have had to tap into that, our higher divine selves, and work on the inner child that we have suppressed, the things that we're not willing, that when you think you've got it all and you're doing good and your focus is good and everything, that's when the universe, kind of like what I was saying earlier, that's when the universe trips you up and says, there's something else we need to work on. And so this is really a time for you to reflect back and spend some time in meditation and ask the universe, what is it, that you need to go in and look at, something that has been suppressed, that you've not acknowledged in many, many, many years, and something that you suppressed even, when you were a child. So, it's really funny because I don't decide what I'm going to write about in the newsletters until like the day before I'm supposed to put the newsletter out. And I have a whole list, so many words that I have to pick from. And yesterday I had my list of words, and child just, came to me. I mean, it was like sticking out like a sore thumb. And so, yeah, there's, the universe is calling for all of us to look way deep inside and to heal that inner child. For so many of us, the inner child needs to be healed. And it's not something that happens overnight. There's layers and layers and layers of things that need to be healed in many of us. And so you can only work on one thing at a time. And once you move forward from healing with that, then universe is like, okay, well, let's get you ready for the next one. And sometimes I wonder if that's what these retrogrades are all about, is to, universe is like, okay, you got what you needed, from last retrograde or last lesson, last full moon. Now let's tackle the next thing that you need to tackle. So, and I'm here to tell you it ain't fun. But anyway, the next card is the Four of Pentacles. Yeah. So the Four of Pentacles, sometimes we reflect back on, our losses. And it could be financial. So for many of us, and I know that like right now at this time, there's a lot of us that are trying to figure things out financially. And for many of us, we may feel like we made some financial mistakes. I can tell you, I always talk about personal experiences because I don't want anybody to think that, oh, she's just got the perfect life and she can tell us, what she thinks. Because no, I don't have the perfect life. I run into problems just like everybody else. But, the Four of Pentacles, I quit my job. Everybody knows that I quit my job from a mattress store here locally in Charleston. And, I keep having dreams about this mattress store. And I remind myself all the time why I quit. And then sometimes when I see the bills starting to pile up and, getting closer for the rent, there's those little moments when I think maybe I shouldn't have quit, like I did, and then I'll have a dream. And so the Four of Pentacles is really telling you, don't be depressed. Don't be regretful over choices that you've made. For many of us, like with my job, it wasn't something that I just woke up one morning and said, I'm quitting. It was something that I had to really think about for a long time. And it had been on my mind to quit for a long time. But there's an old saying, when one door closes, another opens. And even though you may have some sort of financial loss, and you may try to find that, regain those finances someplace else, and even where you go, someplace else that you go to, you find that, it's not working for you. It's not, your finances are not where they should be, and it's just, for many of us, I see a lot of stress over finances, and also there's a lot of noise going on in my house right now. Anyway, I'm so sorry for the disturbance. My son's father has come to pick him up, and they don't know that I'm doing this video, so it's all okay. It's all good. They're gone. But it's if you have regrets, and that's what I'm seeing in the Four of Pentacles, that there might be some regrets. There may, for some of you, I'm even getting that there's been a relationship that you let go of, and now you're beginning to have regrets, like, maybe I shouldn't have thrown in the towel so quickly. But no. We have to listen to our hearts. We have to listen to our higher divine and follow. And even though in our view as humans, in the worldly view, the choices that we made, we may think maybe we made a bad decision, but you got to be true to your heart and follow. It's called having integrity, truth, and self-respect, and self-love. So sometimes we will throw in the towel on something and later on may regret it, but the reason why you threw in the towel in the first place was because one of those three things, self-love, self-respect, or self-integrity, was not being honored. So then we begin to think, well, it's okay, maybe I should go back. No, because often we'll go through a test, it will be put through a test as to how strong we are. And if you just hang on and set your intentions to something higher, the universe will honor that. But a lot of this is also about getting rid of that thought process as well. So no more regrets. You did what you did for a reason, and you listened to your higher divine self. Your next card is the King of Wands, and so like I said, it's going to get better. The King of Wands, honey, in control. The King is getting his act together. And Wands is about work, and I guess for me, work has been a big thing for me over the since I quit my job, because I thought I had it figured out doing something else, and that other thing that I had figured out I was going to do didn't work out. So, then I'm like, okay, now I have to go back to the drawing board and figure something else out. So, this card, the King of Wands, is telling me that, I see the snake on the nose. And so for many of us, this retrograde and this full moon has really impacted some change on us. And the change has been really good, even though, like I said, we don't feel like it's good. At the moment, you may be like, freaking out. But it's a change that has to come in order for us to move on and move forward and accelerate ourselves to the kind of life that we want to live. I know for myself, and I know for everybody that I talk to, we all have manifestations of the kind of life that we would like to have, the dreams that we have. For some of us, it's to live in a nice big fancy house and have a nice big fancy car. That's not my dream, but I know for some there is. And I know that for many of us, in order to get to where the dream that in order to get to the manifestation, the reality of the manifestations, there's a lot of changes that we have to make to be able to adapt and to move forward. So that's why, like, today's or this week's word is child, because as adults we try to make things happen, and our egos get in the way, and we as somebody the video that I heard earlier, she was saying we manipulate things, which is so true. We try as adults to manipulate things, and we want to see things happen on a certain time, and we have our own time. And universe, if there's like a God, how people describe sometimes, if there is a God like that, I could see him up on his throne just cracking up and saying, look at that idiot down there, what they're trying to do. Don't they know they have no control? So there's things that we just, the King of Wands and the Four of Pentacles, even the High Priestess, all these cards just really encourage us to dig deep down inside and get rid of what it is that we need to get rid of so that we can move on and so that our manifestations can become a reality. Because look here, honey, you're on your way, okay? So just keep doing the work. Yes, it's hard. It's hard work. And for some of us, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't happen right away. I went through a massive breakup 4 years ago, and I really thought that, things that he had done, so forth and so on. But today, when I look back on it, I'm so grateful for the things that I had to encounter with this person, because it was pretty intense. And when I got out of it, and I spent like 3 years in healing. I mean, I'm still healing from a lot of it. But a lot of healing took place, and it wasn't about this person. It had nothing to do really with what he had done. It was all about me and fixing what was wrong with me, fixing the problems with me. Because you have to remember, we have that mirror image that we attract ourselves to each other. And so that's what had happened with, in this particular relationship. And so when I got out of it, I really began to see a lot of things that I did not see before. And so I'm so grateful. And I think when you begin to get to that point, when it's in a relationship, let's go back to this Four of Pentacles real quickly. So when it's in a relationship and you begin to see things, like things that this person was doing, but you were doing the same things, maybe not the exact same things, but the motives and everything was kind of the same. I think the idea of forgiveness really begins to kick in more, and you're able to forgive that person more and more each time as you heal, because you're healing yourself. It has nothing to do with the other person. It's the things that you have to change within yourself. So as you begin to do that, the forgiveness. And it's not just in a romantic relationship. It can be with anything, any relationship, friendship, family, whatever. So this is a time that we're going through this, and is it painful? Hell yeah, it's painful. It is painful. So anyway, but it's all going to work out good. The changes are going to come. You're going to get what you need. And I know I try to move this around because the light gets on it, but this is your King of Wands. And we're all going to make it through. We're all in this together, and we're all going to make it through. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoy the rest of the newsletter. And until next week, take care. Bye-bye.